your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter following really quick, so that hopefully it will help you sell more online courses. We're not going to specifically talk about Udemy because there's so many different platforms out there. And Ali has actually gone over to do some stuff on Skillshare too. So we're going to talk about that. So welcome, Ali.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Uh-oh, now we got an echo, but hey, maybe I'll grab my headphones if it continues. So yeah, hey, so thanks for being our guest. And why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So first of all, Dennis, there's a lot of echo.
Yep. So while you're talking, I'm going to run and grab my headset, which I left downstairs. So I'm going to put me on mute and let you tell everybody about yourself.
Gotcha. Okay. So a couple of things that are relevant to this audience. Like Dennis said, I run a social media marketing company. It's called iSocialU. Mainly focuses on social media marketing and generating leads for clients that I work with. I have two types of clients. One is small, medium businesses, startups, and they need help with everything. And then on the other side, I have corporate clients like Chevy, Papa Murphy, and they're like mega brands, and they have budget for everything. So it's like the two different like ends of spectrum that I work with. And then another relevant thing, I've been active on Udemy. I believe it's 11 months now. I think next month it's gonna be 1 year. And recently started putting my content from Udemy or on Skillshare and looking at other platforms. So those are a couple of things that what I do actively and relevant to this audience.
You work with Chevy?
Dennis, you missed it.
Matt, Ali, can you hear me? Start while I get this plugged in, please.
Okay. Dennis, can you hear me? All right, he can't hear me. It's awesome that you work with Chevy, though.
Yeah, but it's fun. You know, kind of like when you work with the small, medium businesses, there is more room for creativity, and you can growth test and test a lot of stuff. When you work corporate clients, we get like a list of things we have to execute. So we can't look right and left. We just have to like execute that plan. Or there's a lot of like things we have to follow, a lot of brand rules that we have to follow. But obviously, it's more money.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm out of breath from climbing the stairs. Okay, so I guess that you told everybody about, because I already know like a lot of that stuff, but so yeah, so now we've lost, no, we didn't lose Matt. Matt, you want to go ahead with the first question?
Yeah, can you hear me, Dennis?
I certainly can.
All right, cool. All right, so Ali, I see that your company page, iSocialU, has over 25,000 Facebook followers, which is awesome, and which this provides social proof for your clients. What advice would you have for our listeners to grow in their Facebook page? Like, how can I grow Skillhance to more followers and emulate some of your success?
Gotcha. So since Facebook, I'm sure everybody knows, Facebook has become a pay-to-play platform. So the best way to kind of like grow any audience on Facebook is using the advertising and targeted advertising. But obviously, when we're starting out and we're solopreneurs and small, medium businesses, there's hardly any budget. So what I like to do is kind of like growth hack and divert your audience from other places that you're active on to Facebook. And I'll give you like a couple of examples. A lot of time we have a lot of connections on LinkedIn. So you can export your LinkedIn contacts and connections into a CSV file and then invite those people to your Facebook page. You can do the same thing with Gmail. We sometimes, if we're active on email, which a lot of us are, we can download a contact list from Gmail and then invite them to our Facebook group. And then number 3 is if we are actively blogging, producing content, and we have some traffic to our website, So you can use plugins like, I believe, SumoMe or Hello Bar. There's some plugins that you can use to direct your traffic from your blog to your Facebook page. So there are some growth hacks that you can use to get attention or get traffic to your Facebook page. But the number one way any business or page can grow on Facebook is by using advertising.
I'm already taking down notes, so if I'm looking down, then that's what I'm doing. So that's some good tips to export your contacts and invite them.
Yes.
Yeah, I never thought of that, and I was going to ask, is that like a cool thing to do that people don't mind that you're taking that information? Is there maybe a way that you can word it when you send them an email to let them know that, hey, I'd like you to follow me here?
Yeah, when you, Dennis, when you invite them, you can actually make a personal note. And sometimes you just be transparent. Hey, we're connected on Gmail, and I'm going to invite you on Facebook page. And by the way, if it's not relevant, ignore, and I apologize, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of time what happens is there are a lot of people in our email or LinkedIn, they don't know we have a Facebook page. So if we just let them know, then they're more than happy to join us.
Cool. Yeah, because I don't use LinkedIn as much. Matt, how about yourself?
In it, but not really. No, I have connections where if I know somebody, if I'm emailing back and forth, I'll connect with them on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to do that, but I don't post anything.
Yeah, and I just thought that might be a good idea for you because when you said the word post and you mentioned LinkedIn, Ali, that you can blog on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the idea is, let's say if someone is consistently putting content on LinkedIn Pulse or LinkedIn Publishing, at the end of your content, you can direct people to your Facebook page. Join me on, a link of your Facebook page. And another thing is, keep in mind, Facebook page is not the only product that we can use to market ourselves. Recently, I've been very active in Facebook groups. The algorithms and rules and not needing to spend advertising on Facebook group is a huge sort of benefit. So you can still get active in Facebook groups and build your brand and drive traffic to your website and capture emails and then sales to those people.
Yeah, I think people forget about that Facebook groups are an excellent resource. I was going to ask you, as far as Facebook in general, what are some good tips? Because I don't, myself, trying to be consistent in my posting. So what would you recommend for listeners, some tips or some hacks or just some advice in general with Facebook?
The make or break is really consistency. If you look at any good pages that you remember, the ones that we keep going back to again and again, is the biggest reason is they're consistent. Sometimes we like their content, sometimes we probably don't like their content, but the main reason is if they're consistent, they will show up in our feed, and that's how that will be the number one thing. But do you guys see my face? Because I'm seeing poor internet signal. Okay. But what you wanna do is with Facebook or any kind of marketing, you wanna get to a point where, let's say if someone asks a question on Facebook and Matt sees it or Dennis sees it and they tag me because they think I might know the answer. So that should be our goal when we get active on Facebook or Twitter. We want to get into the groups, start answering questions, or if we have page, we want to provide educational value based on our niche to a point where people feel like, hey, if I have a question, the answer to this question, Ali might know, or Dennis might know, or Matt might know. So that should be the kind of our goal. Can we inspire? Can we help people in a way that they know who we are, and next time they have a question, they reach out to us?
True. I see your point in that because it reminds me of when I used to manage a video store. Somebody would come in and we might not have that video, but we would recommend another store in the Seattle area because we knew that they had it. So you're saying that if you know somebody, like if I know that Matt would have the answer, and I think I've done this with both of you before, I might tag Matt so that Matt comes in and answers that question. So then people see me as a connector because I know who to go to get them the answer for what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, people see you as a connector and people see Matt as an expert. Yeah. So what I've been doing recently is I have a lot of social media and marketing groups on Facebook. So every morning, my first hour is spent just looking at the feed of those groups and then answering questions. That's it. Because then what happens is when people have Facebook ads questions or social media or Instagram questions next time, then someone else will tag me because they saw me responding or educating people yesterday or day before.
Great.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that too, what you're saying, and sometimes it's just I feel like a lot of time goes by looking for stuff to answer and things like that. So I usually just say, forget this, and I'll just post a video that's relevant to the group that just purely adds value.
Yeah, and it is. I think the biggest challenge on social media and Facebook is actually the noise. How much information there is. What I try to do now is, and I have a company, social media. I make money using social media and helping with people with social media. I actually limit my time on it. So when I'm done with Facebook, I close it. And same thing with my email. When I'm done with my email, I try to close it. So that's like another thing that you have the time or batch your time. Maybe morning 45 minutes or 30 minutes are when I'm going to post. And then afternoon, after lunch, I'm feeling, lazy, so to speak. Then I'll go talk to people in the groups, but then leave. If you don't see anything valuable, just leave and do work on your courses, work on your businesses, work on your blogs, and maybe come back in the evening.
Yeah, I sometimes feel pressured, like with Facebook, if I don't close it, that I've got to answer a message. Like somebody I know, he had a question before I came on for the show today, and I said, no, I can't answer it at this point. I'll take care of it later. Yeah.
And like I said, our goal, when we want to use Facebook or even Twitter, there's a lot of value in Twitter now because I can directly talk one-on-one with people. So I've been paying a lot of attention on Twitter, but our goal should be we answer a lot of questions based on what we know, so people remember us and people know who we are, and reach out to us next time they have a problem or potentially a business lead for us.
You said that you were on top of you owning a couple businesses, one being, you working with Chevy and all these other brands. You said you were also a Udemy instructor for the past year. And I'm just curious now, is selling online courses or Udemy courses like a decent part of your business? Or do you see it like becoming a bigger part of your business in the future?
Man, I lost both of you. Both of you guys. I can't see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you guys, but I just can't see you guys. But yeah, going back to your question, man, I definitely think the online education is going to grow. Udemy is like a platform and a tool. Skillshare is the same way.
We lost them.
And platforms and tools always change. You guys hear me?
Yeah, you cut out. I don't know if it's like your connection on your end. You cut out, but go ahead. Continue with your thought.
I'm totally. So I don't know what's happening with Blab. I don't even have any feedback or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Matt, I see you.
You should move from Dallas and get a real internet connection.
Hey, all the videos I'm watching are. No. So going back, I definitely I see online education keep on growing. I think that's people don't want to go to schools anymore. They want to learn on demand, skills and training. So right now it's a decent part of my my business. Obviously, personally in the company, I have a couple of team members who help me with the campaigns, but my courses are mostly me at this point. But I do see it growing in future, maybe even on platforms like Skillshare and other platforms.
Do you just a real quick question? Do you enjoy teaching more, or do you enjoy the business aspect of working with clients? What do you get more enjoyment out of?
That's a good question. If I had to pick, I would say probably working with the clients, mainly because it's a real person sitting next to me, and more feedback and more engagement and more connection.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in online education, you feel like, hey, you don't know who's taking your courses or who's on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I would think that working with the clients actually helps you kind of know what you can teach as far as courses go, because you can see what kind of education people are needing by working with your clients.
Yeah. And that's another, that helps me create online courses, because the niche, social media or Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing, I think it's probably the most crowded niche on online education on Udemy and other platforms. So the only reason why I feel like I'm doing well on Udemy, because I try to integrate my business with the Udemy stuff. So if I'm teaching, let's say, if I'm teaching Instagram marketing course, it probably means I'm doing Instagram marketing a lot in real life for clients or myself. So I try to integrate both reasons. But otherwise, if someone wants to create marketing and social media courses, it's a very crowded niche. And obviously you can stand out and do different things, but it is, as compared to technology courses, it's probably very, very tough to break into.
So what should businesses, and let's say if somebody's running a small business, or maybe, somebody's a digital nomad, or does online marketing or online courses, what kind of things in general should they be doing on social media? Should they cover everything from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, or is there something maybe that they should just start out on and focus on that and grow from there?
So the number one thing that you want to do, in my opinion, is produce content. So, because if you kind of step back and look at anybody famous online that we know them through their content. We found them through their books or courses or blogs, entrepreneurs, small, medium businesses. You want to see what in your niche, can you produce videos? If not, can you write blog articles? If not, can you produce micro content in form of maybe Instagram images and videos? So the number one thing you want to do is you want to start creating consistent content.
I think that's a good idea.
There is a lot of echo.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm trying to go. That's why it takes a while for Matt and I to respond, because we put ourselves on mute to try to hopefully keep the echo from happening. But I think that something on your end is kind of off, because you freeze at times, and Matt's been fine. He's just kind of sitting there pondering his thoughts.
Yeah.
Now he's on mute.
It is strange, because I do.
You're not on mute?
Wi-Fi seems fine.
So now we can't hear Matt now, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Technology is going to send me to my grave early, I think.
Yeah, I just checked my Wi-Fi speed and it seems fine.
I know, it's so weird, because I'm up here in a different room, and the internet's usually fairly fine up here, and we've got, even for Idaho, we've got fast internet connectivity, but now we can't hear Matt at all.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
No, hear you, Matt.
You
might want to check. So you said that with content, I totally agree with you that it's you want to release stuff consistently so that your users kind of expect something to come out from you on a certain frequency. And so you don't want to break that. So if you're doing something every week and all of a sudden you go from 2 weeks before you release something, and then you go a month, and then you go back, you start losing those people.
Yeah. And another thing we got to keep in mind that is, so producing content is just the start. It's one thing. It's also sort of our own. It's up to us to take that content to right people or bring the right people to content, or in other words, like, marketing that content or promoting that content. So I think as far as the frequency, I kind of feel like it's really, if you can write weekly, fine. If not, if you can write every 2 weeks, that's fine too. If you can write, 2,000, 3,000 blog in a month, that's fine too. But then you have to step one, write it, and then also take it to people who is your target audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for your food blogger, if you have a food blog and you're looking for people interested in food, then Pinterest. There are group boards on Pinterest. There are Facebook groups. There are a lot of like other community websites that you need to get active in, so you can find excuses or reasons where you can put in your links and drive people back to your website.
Yeah, so it's all about like at the right moment, right? Yeah. So Ali, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt was saying that he can, or that you can hear him, right?
Matt, can you hear me? No, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, see, you can't hear Matt either. So, see, I was telling Matt, neither of us can hear him. So,
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Okay. So I was just with my thought is that when you drop that information into those groups, you want to make sure that it's information that people are going to find valuable, that you're not just spamming a group. So now that we can hear Matt, we can go ahead and let him go on with the next question.
So basically, how do the same businesses that we've been talking about decide which platform fits best for their business? Because I'm assuming the things that I'm doing with Skillhance, trying to teach people how they could build their own successful side business, other social media networks would stand out more than others for me, right?
Matt, say that you were cutting off. Ask that again. Sorry.
Dennis, was I cutting off for you too, or no? Okay. Now I can't hear Dennis. Goddamn blab.
This is crazy.
All right. Sorry, guys. Jeez. Yeah. I'm going to switch to Google Hangouts, man. All right. So, Ali, can you hear me?
Yes. For now, I can.
Okay. All right. So the same people and businesses that we were talking about, what social media networks would best, how do they decide which social media networks best fit their business?
So I typically like to do two questions. One is whoever your target audience, is that audience on that platform? And the two is, do you actually like using it? So for example, if I want to be, online education, for example, if I want to be known as an instructor and teacher, are people who are wanting to learn, are they on Instagram? Yes, because I can look at Udemy and Skillshare and other teachers who have big profiles and big accounts. Are they on Twitter? They probably are, because I can look at the hashtag and see how active those hashtags are. But then the second question I would ask is, between those two, which one I enjoy the most? So I think that's how I would, in the beginning, don't try to be on too many places, because it's really, really hard, and we can easily get, distracted. So pick maybe one or two places and then be like, and my rule of thumb is, if I know there are people, if I'm active on Twitter and I notice people sending me messages and tagging me and asking me questions, I know I'm doing something right. That's the point where I want to get to. And if not, then I'm like, hey, maybe this is not the right channel for me, or maybe, I'm not getting attention. So let me, change my strategy or look somewhere else.
Great advice, especially question number 2, do I like being on the platform? And I do ask myself that question already, but now I'm getting some reassurance that that's the right question to ask.
And like I said, there's so many people in this, on social media. There are a lot of people on. You can follow Instagram marketing best practices and be successful on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. But I like to say, pick one or two and see if you really you naturally enjoy it, because then it's going to be really easy for you to, if you like Twitter, pop into Twitter and answer a bunch of questions. Right now I have Twitter streams. Anyone who releases on Skillshare, I get a notification. So I haven't done that for Udemy yet. But I can really, new instructors, I can really tweet, share, engage with them on Twitter. That's how like they get to know me and I get to know them. But if I didn't like Twitter, then it would be really hard for me to like to do that.
Oh boy.
No voice.
When I go to San Francisco for Udemy Live, I might want to walk down to Blab and say, "Come on, guys, get your act together."
Yeah. I did Skype with someone this morning and it was fine, but yeah, I think it's probably Blab.
Skype and Google Hangouts usually are pretty consistent with the quality. It's just Blab lately, because a couple of times
my mic was on mute that time.
Maybe we should go back to the format of drinking a beer.
Yeah.
At this point,
it used to work right.
In the beginning, like, we were having so many technical difficulties and we like dropped all of our people, but this will be on I'll edit it. This will be on iTunes and YouTube and everything else after it being edited from all this crap.
Yeah, Matt, if you guys want to do, I think we had a lot of like technical issues. If you want to do it again, maybe after a couple of weeks or depending on your schedule, we can schedule again. It seems like we had a lot because someone sent me a message on Facebook. He was one of my groups, so he joined, but same issue. They had problem. We were like going back on and off.
Yeah, when we had that big technical glitch, like 5 people dropped at once.
Oh boy!
Either that or the question I asked was really bad.
I know. It was like, are we asking some bad questions or what? I think it's more technical issues that we're having right now, but. Hopefully like the YouTube broadcast and the podcast that Matt's going to put up will sound okay. If not, we can always do this again when Blab's got their act together. But so I think, Matt, were you done with that question so we can go on with the next one?
Good. I forgot what we were talking about.
So we were talking about what platform's best for the businesses, and I wanted to ask specifically about Instagram because we had a past guest on. Evan was on with us, and he's got an Instagram course, and Ali's got a couple of them, including some with hacks. And I like to talk about Instagram because Jack Wilson and Phil Ebner and I, on our mastermind call, we were talking about Pat Flynn and a show that he had with the ladies from Simple Green Smoothies who totally grew their business from Instagram and started these $5 PDFs and made over several $1 million now off of that and built entirely off of Instagram and their website. So let's talk about Instagram because it seems to be the hot platform. I know. What's the target age group for that?
Yeah, I think 18 to like 44-year-olds that they're like really, but I think now it's getting so big that people do not want to be off Instagram. So if you're 60-year-old and you have a mobile phone and you have kids, they're probably going to educate you about Snapchat and Instagram anyway. So I think the teens 18 to probably 44, that's probably the most active group on Instagram.
Yeah, that leaves me out.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit outside of that age group there. It's always weird when that happens. Like, you get those boxes where you check off your age group and I'm like, damn it, I can't check that specific group anymore. So
you're like, I can't find 17 in there.
Yeah, really. So is it because it's very visual? Like what is the magic of Instagram?
Yeah, I mean it's visual and forget Instagram. We like videos and photos as humans, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why. But the key really is there are a lot of people who are doing really good and big on Instagram. If there was like another product which was visual, they would probably do good on that. So in my opinion, the trick really is your business and your product. Is it really so like kick-ass that people will share it? So for example, if I have a pizza shop, is my pizza shop so good or my pizza so good that when Matt eats it, he's gonna tell Dennis? And then if products are visuals. You'll see like food and smoothie and health and fitness. The products and businesses that have like visual aspect to them, they do really good on Instagram. But at the end of the day, if their smoothie not good, not tell other people or tag people or download the recipe back to, the real question becomes, is your product so good that people, when one person uses it, he's going to tell another person?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
It's funny that we were talking about pizza because one of my best friends, his dad owns a pizza shop, and he like gives us like a free pizza, like loaded, like he puts everything on it, and he's like, yo, just take a couple pictures on Instagram, like post on Facebook, and like we make it look really good, and like it's awesome that way. So
yeah, that's cool because it's really powerful. Like you were saying, food. I actually started an Instagram group for free courses, freecoursedaily.com. I only started that less than 2 weeks ago, and I already have 152 followers because I'm kind of mixing it in like with some inspirational stuff and finding specific Udemy courses that I know are going to resonate with people. Like the one that I posted the other day was a free cocktail course on, and I think, Matt, I shared the like 10 of them, and I just take a photo of my laptop screen at an angle and make it look good visually, and it seems to be resonating. Well, I could do screenshots too, but I just kind of like the, like things like where I get the screen, but then you can see the coffee shop kind of behind it to make it a little bit different each time. And then, like a little bit like my vacation, there was a rock called Balance Rock, and I put Balance Life on there, and that got some likes, Matt's laughing, but it worked, Matt.
What's the account name, Dennis? I don't know if I'm following you on that.
It's Free Course Daily. So it's Instagram.com/Free Course Daily. So within a few weeks, I already have 152 followers on that account.
That's really, yeah. See, one thing I found it, one thing I like by looking at it, that's like another thing, the stuff on your account, if it's consistent, people will remember it.
Yeah, that's like, and so I mix it in with the courses, but also a little bit that's like me, like on the go or whatever. So you've got the fountains, like I did a video with the fountains at a shopping center, and that's got 20 likes and 1 comment. And I think for, having just 152 followers now, that at that point I didn't have 152 because that was like a week ago that I took that. And then some food photos because I was, I out having lunch while I'm working on these websites or my Facebook pages. So I just kind of mix that in. But I do agree with you, like you said, that you want to make with Instagram, you want to have some kind of consistency. If all I threw in there were courses every day, I don't think that would work specifically because it's now, the 80-20 rule. But the thing is that these aren't courses that people have to buy. So I'm not selling them courses. I'm just saying, hey, here's a course that I think is really cool. Like the other day was soap making, and it was free, I got
you. Interesting. Yeah, you had a screenshot of your Facebook, I guess, news feed, and then picture of that.
Yeah. So there's the one up there is that bartending one with the cocktails, and that got 17 likes because who's not going to not like a good drink?
No, too. What,
audience, huh?
What's that?
On Instagram? Go ahead,
Instagram's target audience.
Yeah, well, I put a picture on my own personal account when I went to Jackpot, Nevada, of some Bacardi that I bought, and it was in a blue plastic bag, so it made the Bacardi look like light blue. And of course, that got a lot of likes,
Now,
people love.
you can do like two like simple things to actually grow this really fast. One is, so if you go to from your Instagram, like go to Udemy,
Mm-hmm.
follow Udemy's followers, but don't do it too aggressive. So you probably want to do like 25, 30 at a time, and do like 3 or 4 times in a day.
Okay, so go to Udemy's account,
Yes.
figure out who's following them, and start following those people.
Yes, because when they see a free course daily is following them, some of those, and it depends, how much they like your account, but you can get like 20 to 30% people follow you back.
Yeah, they get. I didn't even think about that you can click. I just clicked on the followers. So now if I follow them, if I'm on my free course daily account right now, then that's who it's going to follow them as, right?
Yes. And just keep it, don't follow more than, there are different like theories out there. What I do consistently is like, if you're 25 to 30, you're safe. I think Instagram has if someone does 60 in an hour, they consider that as a spam or, too aggressive. So you want to stay.
In a day, I can follow that many?
At a time, like if you're sitting there right now, within the next 5 minutes, follow 30 people, and then do again at 5 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock, and then 3 a.m. in the morning, because I know you're gonna be up.
Yeah. So that's a tip for people who are listening: is go find somebody out there that is very similar to like what you're doing. So I do free courses daily, and so Ali's saying go to Udemy because they're mostly Udemy online courses, and follow the followers of Udemy, but like you said, not aggressively. And then that's a way to, a hack to build your following quickly. So I think that's really good information. Thank you.
And the second one, Dennis, you're welcome. I would say there's some study by Track Maven that if you use 11 plus hashtags, that gets you the most engagement. But I would say maybe in your phone, in your notes, just save 30 hashtags or 25 hashtags and use them consistently.
I learned that from your course, actually. And put Evernote on my phone, because one of his hacks was to take those hashtags and put it into like a notepad or Evernote or something like that, so you could just copy and paste those so that you're not always having to type. I did notice that Instagram at a point remembers the hashtags that you use consistently. But yeah, that's a great idea to like have like for specific things like your hashtags ready to go. And I did notice that when I started, because I always got on people who were posting like a lot of hashtags on their Facebook account. I was like, oh my God. And then I realized, like from what you said, that having a lot of hashtags like that is actually beneficial.
It is beneficial. It looks like 11's good, and the copy and pasting thing, I do that for YouTube too, because it can be kind of a pain to keep writing in the hashtags on there. So
yeah,
and your blog and everything,
Yeah. Maybe we should create a hashtag app, guys, that lets people keep their hashtags. I don't know.
Yeah, you just make a file on Google Docs and you just copy and paste it.
I know that. I'm just like, I just like, maybe there's money there. What wouldn't it be funny though if somebody was listening to this and that's what they did, and it's like, hey, they just became a millionaire off of our idea. So Matt, you can go ahead and you want to go ahead and go on, go with the next question then that we have for Ali. Did we lose? Hello, Matt.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're back.
Mr.
All right.
Mr. Mute.
All right, so sorry. All right, so Ali, any other platforms you want to talk about, whether that be live streaming, Pinterest, Snapchat, any of those are most relevant?
Yeah, live streaming is definitely, because it's video, so it's getting big. It's gonna be big. A lot of people enjoy live streaming, but I'll go back to like, which one or two you like as a, user or as an instructor or as a marketer the most. So just start with, if you like Instagram, then my goal should be, hey, I want to grow from 100 to 1,000 or 5,000 on Instagram and get to a point where people start asking me questions. Because when people start asking me questions on a platform, that's when I know, hey, these people know what I do and they're reaching out to me. So that's what I would just, Snapchat is good, Pinterest.
Are you on any of those the most, I guess?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
He froze. Oh my goodness.
We can't hear you.
I'm gonna go lay on the beer at Red Robin after this. It's too stressful.
This is good. You're
going to Red Robin after this?
No, I wish. It's too well, it's not too expensive. I don't need something unhealthy, do I? I need to go. I can go to Panera Bread. So. Oh, so I hope that he's able to get his signal back, because we had a question
We're probably going to have to. That dude left, but we're probably going to have to do this again.
Well, I want to ask that question actually, because what I can do is I can message him on Twitter and let him know to watch the replay so he can catch that. So you're back. So go ahead and continue with your thought there. Can you hear us?
I was saying, just focus on one or two. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So focus on. Ignore all the hundreds and thousands of channels. Focus on one and two and get to a point where people start remembering you and start asking you questions, because that's when you have sort of like built a mini brand on that channel.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like you were saying, like a mini brand. You don't have to have like a large following to actually have a business. I know that Nathan Barry only had a couple hundred email addresses when he started selling his books, and he went on to sell over $500,000 worth of books. And you just grow your following as you go, and so it doesn't take much as long as you've got a really good target audience. It doesn't have to be that large. So, hey, before I ask you the next question, Matt, did you have anything to add to that before I go on with the next one?
Yeah, I was just wondering, are there any of those platforms that you're using the most? Snapchat, Pinterest, or live streaming?
Snapchat I used a lot because I was trying to learn it. But last like a month and a half, I haven't used Snapchat that much. I'm really the two platforms I spend most time on is Twitter and Instagram now. And third one is Facebook groups.
Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think that's good.
Yeah, mostly places where if someone has a question, then I can easily engage and answer with that. So Facebook group, a lot of people have questions, so I can easily engage with them. Twitter, a lot of people, I can send direct mention to Dennis or direct mention to that person. It's like, calling that person out or, talking to them.
How do you answer questions on Twitter?
So if you I use a tool like Hootsuite. But you can do it with Twitter. So in the advanced search, just search for your key terms. So for example, hashtag social media or hashtag online teaching or hashtag whatever your SEO, and then save that search. What happens when people ask questions, you will know what people are talking about. And sometimes they're questions, and sometimes it's just stuff that people are talking about, and you can just engage with them.
So you can answer their questions if you see something that maybe stands out as something that you're knowledgeable in and respond.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Hootsuite. I just don't use it enough because, what's interesting is I just use basically Twitter just to broadcast out messages for my websites like Free Course Daily and online course coupons. And I know that it's working because I'm making income on that kind of stuff. So, it works for me. But somebody had a question, and I think that they dropped off, but I was thinking that we could answer it, and then I could just message them on Twitter, and let them know to watch the broadcast. So the question was if you could share some of your best strategies for Google Plus, because I don't think that Google Plus gets enough talk these days, and it's still there. And we have to remember that Google is the world's largest search engine. They might not be the best at social media when it comes to competing with Facebook, but they're still a presence. So what do you think?
Yeah, for Google Plus, if you're like content producer, like instructors and bloggers, then you want to join the communities and then paste your content or engage there in the communities. But the biggest benefit of Google Plus is if you have a brick and mortar business, then create a local Google Plus page and complete it, and then have your in-store traffic leave you reviews, because that stuff is going to show up in Google searches.
So it's still, Google is still going to rank that stuff higher in their search engine results because of it being Google Plus. So people need to remember that. Yep. Good. I know that they've changed the look of it recently. I don't know if I really like the new look of it. And I just what's your opinion? Like, why do you think that they haven't been able to make any inroads against Facebook? Is it just that Facebook is too dominant now that it's too late for anyone to compete with them? Because we know, MySpace was pretty dominant and they fell to Facebook. So you never know.
Yeah, and I think, Dennis, Facebook is definitely too big, and it's probably the number one app people go to, right? The first app that people think about probably, and now maybe it's Instagram for some people, but for most people it's Facebook. So if anyone wants to, kind of, in my opinion, compete with Facebook, they have to create like a very clear differentiation. Even though if you kind of look at it, Twitter is kind of like the Facebook. You guys there?
Yeah, you froze for a moment, but you're back.
Okay, so I think that's why, in my opinion, like Google Plus didn't have like a clear differentiation, a reason for people to go there, and they, that's why like it hasn't, in my opinion, hasn't picked up or picked off.
Yeah, true. And the thing that I tell people is that when you look at Facebook, my mom is on Facebook, my aunt, my cousins, my classmates from high school, people that I used to work with years ago. So they're all there on Facebook. There's a certain audience on Google Plus that it's like Apple in a way, that there's a certain type of person that has an iPhone or a Mac or something like that. And it's the same thing with Google Plus. And so there only are going to be certain people. You're not going to find my mom. You're not going to find classmates and my nephew and my niece on Google Plus. You're going to find everyone on Facebook. So I think that's why they're so dominant. So let's see. Matt, you can ask this question if you want. It was a question I think that I was going to ask next about the cells and stuff like that. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So what are some of the ways that you convert your Facebook followers, any social media followers, into buyers, and that you can sell to them finally and make a sale?
And there's actually, there are different versions, but there's actually only one way of doing it. So once you have like an audience or anywhere on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you want to get their email leads, because they don't go to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram with the intention of buying stuff. So you can still sell it if, depending on what type of product you have. But their number one, I don't go to Instagram to buy something, and nobody does. So the way is really to convert them into email leads, and then email market or build a relationship in the email and then sell them. But converting them to email leads is really your offer needs to be very, very, very compelling. Otherwise, and a quick story, one of my offers on my isocialyou.com, it used to be just sign up and get updates on growth hacks and tips and stuff like that. So I get like a daily, a couple of emails, couple of hundred emails every month. But last week, what I did, I changed it to sign up and you're gonna get 30 free Instagram images that I made that there's no branding on them and you can use them any way you want. So what happened, and I wrote a blog post, for next like 2-3 days, my conversion like bumped up. I think it was like almost like 150% more emails I started getting after putting that call to action. So to answer your question, Matt, that's the only way. You want to find a way to capture people's emails, get them to your site and blog, and then build a relationship in the email and then sell them.
A lot of sense. Thank you. And it makes sense to have their email in the long term. And I think that's a really cool idea of your lead magnet that you made 30 images on Instagram. It's different than, because everybody's doing like, a free ebook or a free video course.
Yeah, and actually what days. I did.
Sorry, Dennis.
No, I was just wondering if you had a link to that he.
I do it too.
Yeah, if you go to isocialyou.com, the welcome mat that's going to come down, it says that.
I always laugh every time I say the word welcome Matt because Matt comes to mind. and he's looking good with his new do today. So
is that what all the 25-year-olds are calling it? Do?
What else do you call it? Your hairdo?
My haircut.
Haircut.
Yeah. I need to go get mine cut today too. So, oh boy, so we're almost to the end here. We've made it through, still alive, even though we've had some technical issues. I hope that the product that comes out in the end is still decent. But hey, we can do it again. That's the cool thing about this kind of stuff. So, what one action can you leave our listeners with that they can do today that's going to make a big impact on any of the social media platforms that we've talked about today to help them grow that maybe quickly or effectively?
So the one tip there, if I had to pick just one thing, is start producing content consistently. So whatever if you're an SEO expert, art, designer, marketer like me, just start, whatever start sharing it with other people.
Okay, so that's a good idea. So how about we're letting them know that start doing content consistently. Try saying that together. Where can they go? Or maybe what kind of tools can they use so it makes it easier for someone like myself to find content? Do you have maybe a few tips on that?
Yeah, so it depends on personal style. If you like being on the camera and doing videos, that's awesome. Then you just make a commitment of every single week or Sunday, just record yourself or have interview people, but produce consistent content. If you don't like to be on the video, you can write stuff, right? Write blog posts. But as far as the tools, what I would do is use BuzzSumo. So BuzzSumo is you can find what's trending topics in your niche. So if you go to, let's say if you're an Instagram marketing expert and you go to buzzsumo.com and put Instagram marketing, you'll see all the viral articles in last you pick the time frame, 6 months, 1 year, 3 months. And then when you look at those articles, your mind starts spinning and you start thinking about what you can write about. So imagine there's an article about here's the top 10 mobile apps for Instagram. Maybe you can write here's the top 10 desktop apps for Instagram. So you're kind of putting content that aligns with the content that has already gone viral.
I forget about that tool, and that's a free tool, but also has a premium version. And so that just brought to mind your blogging course that you have that I signed up for. And there was a tool that you mentioned in there that I forget the name of the tool, but maybe you can let people know that helps you actually pick some good headlines. Do you remember what I'm talking about there?
Yes, and actually I have a free course on Udemy and Skillshare both, I think. And they're actually, I think I have found 7 or 8 tools. HubSpot has one, Pork Tent, I think I'm pronouncing that right, has one. And there are a lot of other ones too, but that course has 7 or 8 that you can use. And it's actually really, sometimes like I feel like I don't know what to write about, but when I just search for headlines, and it's really, interesting headlines these tools suggest, and then your brain starts spinning and you're like, hey, I can actually write about that. Funny story, I think a couple of days ago during lunch, I was playing with one of those tools and I searched Facebook marketing, and one of the suggestion was, 3 or 5 Facebook pages that you should look at during your lunch. So that's like an interesting, you're still educating people on good Facebook pages they can go to for information, but the way they put the title up is like really interesting and catches attention.
Awesome. Thank you.
So anybody have any questions?
No one in the audience, yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts, Ali?
No, I think we probably covered a lot of stuff. It is really, really, really tough to, to break or, kind of build a mini brand or brand online these days, because there's a lot of noise. But I think the only way is, and it probably will be for a while, is produce good content and consistent content. Because that's
Great.
how, if you look, and a lot of times if you're consistent, some people, the way people produce content is different for everyone. Some people are comfortable with video. Some people are comfortable with 5,000 people. Some of my clients, if I tell them a blog article within 30 minutes, I'm gonna have 3,000 word article which reads awesome. So, but personally, it's really tough for me to create 3,000 word article without without spending 2 weeks on it. So you have to kind of be self-aware and see what's your style basically. How can you produce content? Yeah, and you will only do that when you're doing it consistently and learning, have a feedback loop for yourself.
Yeah, I like video personally. I was telling Matt that I had been wanting to, before these blabs, go onto the group and do a Facebook live broadcast. So I went on and told people to join us live, and it was the first time that I've used the app on my phone. And last night, a guy was walking around his neighborhood, and he was talking about stuff with his business. And I thought that was really cool, because you were talking about content. It's a great way to connect with people, just like this blab is right here. But Facebook Live, I think that there's so much more potential than blab, because of the fact that you already have the audience on Facebook. And I even saw the other day that there's a way now to connect blab so that these actually will broadcast on Facebook Live. So I need to look into that. But Matt, what do you prefer?
Facebook Live or social networks in general?
Well, do you like video, or do you like blogging?
Oh, I love video. All my posts are all about video, and I just have probably 500 words explaining what the video is. I don't like writing.
Yeah.
Well, I
think blabbing.
I just think it's easier, if you do maybe quick snippets or whatever too, because talking about Instagram with the generation that likes that kind of stuff, they just want things quickly. That's why they like texting, and they use the the abbreviations and stuff like that, because they want I want the information that I need quickly, so that I can go back to doing what I was doing, which is trying to make a living,
Yep.
Yeah. So where can people find you online?
isocialu.com. That's my website, or email is ali@isocialu.com. And I'm always on Facebook, so I'm in all the groups.
Yeah, I see you're posting in there, because I noticed that you're posting articles and all of that in there, and I thought that's a great idea. I need to do that more in the Anything Udemy group, is just find good quality articles that will resonate with the people who are in that group, because I didn't necessarily want it to all be coupon posting and stuff like that. I want people to learn information. So Matt, where do people find you online?
Find me on skillhance.com. Enhancing your skills on the daily.
On the daily? his tagline. I was like, what's his tagline today? It's the same, but that one was a little different there. But that's cool.
Well, somebody made me self-conscious that they kept saying, like, I think he said skill hands. So now I need to say, like, enhance your skills so people get it.
Oh, okay. No, I would like get you like when you say skill hands. I know there are some words out there, like I forget what it is that I said that you have to let people know because it sounds weird or something like that when you say it. So you can find me online at dennisjsmith.com, and if you're listening, visit freecoursedaily.com, where each day for 365 days a year, you can get a new free course delivered to your inbox. And dennisjsmith.com/blab, and you'll be able to watch these blabs, the replay of all of the blabs that Matt and I had done, which have like there's over 20 or more that we've done now. And Matt also
there's 12. This is episode 12.
Well, yeah, but there's other ones that we've done under my shows that I was doing. Oh, my gosh. You're lucky that you don't live. Oh, and there goes the cat behind you.
Yeah.
She usually runs away when I'm talking. I don't know. I'm surprised she's here.
It's Izzy. So I was going to say that on Matt's website, Skill Hands, you can listen to the podcast version of this too. If you prefer podcasts, it's also on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. We do this every week at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. We want to thank Ali again for joining us today. We're sorry that we had technical difficulties, but hopefully you'll be able to come back and listen to this and learn a lot, because Ali has a lot of great information to share. So thank you.
Ali, thank you for coming on. Sorry with all the technical difficulties.
See you.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks.
See you guys in the.
Yes. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Facebook group.